Hello, welcome to Flory Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Takom's 1/35th scale Typhoon K. And it is an absolute beast. Lovely looking vehicle. So, running around on the box, you can see, lovely little box art showing this thing off. Okay, running around it. Standard sort of Russian colours in the greens, as you can imagine. So we've got the old Soviet style red star, and obviously the more Federation markings on there as well. On the end here, you can see it is available from P&M Models here on the Flory Models site for a great price of only £50. Shameless plug, I know. Alright, so we've got sprue counts on the side there, some of the other stuff that they get up to as well. So, in the box, let's move that out of the way, we can see, there we have it, looking very much like a train. The various other parts. We just have a dive down in here. Just run it out. Got the tyres. Okay, and then down in the manual as always. Get that carefully. Looks like we've got a correction sheet. A couple of bits down in there. We have got a little correction sheet. You can see we've got the great manual. And then down in here, we've got the usual thing. So we've actually got the parts, trees down in there. Helicopter flying over. Okay, so starting off, number one, straight in with the actual chassis work. So we've got sort of the running gear underneath, as you'd expect, right the way through. And then on to the other side, and it looks like we've got this sort of protective hull underneath, that sort of V-shaped hull. Okay, and then usual thing, all the lumps and bumps being put under here. Interesting the way that this actually locks together. So again, it's got quite an interesting sort of blast-proof chassis underneath, it looks like. And then obviously we've got the suspension and all the running gear down underneath. So again, this is a sort of six-wheel drive system on this one right the way through, so independent, all of those, as you can see, going through on there like that. Okay, and then obviously we've got some of the protective armor covers going underneath. Again, it's saying about not gluing the actual ones in, so we're guessing that this has, actually it looks like it's six-wheel steer as well. The way that this is actually set up as well, so it may be having six-wheel steering on this one. Again, nice little touch. And then obviously side steps, all the bits that you can imagine going underneath for protecting the underside of the vehicle, exactly the same under here. And then we've got some more plating going in, making up the body. Okay, seats being fitted down in there, so obviously it's all very protected, armoured seats going in there as well, some of the bulkheads. Down here we've actually got the cab going together, looks quite detailed as well, right the way through, separate seats, cushions, things like that. And then obviously we've got some of the screens down in there, as well as the driver's compartment, and those being fitted in just like that. And then working onto that sort of upper part of the body, so all the interior details being fitted down in, hatches, various things, got hatches all over this thing across the top. Okay, and then we've got some more of the bulkheads being fitted down in there, and then we've got handles, grab bars, obviously some of the cooling system down in here, so we've got the filters on the radiators on the top, and some others down there I imagine for the engine. And then working your way across, so we've still got more handles, all the little lumps, bumps and everything you might expect right the way over this one. We've got the doors going on, armoured front panels being fitted in, we've got the actual wing mirrors showing you quite nicely sort of zoomed in here. You can see how that is supposed to be, and the armoured glass being fitted into the doors. And then again, more lumps and bumps all being fitted on the outside down in there as well, right the way over to the front. Windscreen with the actual windscreen wiper set being fitted down into there, and then the other armoured door being fitted on the other side. Okay, and again, more tie down locations, hook points, things like that being fitted on. Then we've actually got the rear door area being fitted in, some of the lights and things like that I imagine on the back of that one. And then that top part of the body going down onto the chassis, as you might imagine, down in there like that. Rear door closed position or open, you can see it's a giant hatch drop down one, and these huge tyres, and it is a six-wheel drive, six-wheel steer system on this one. We can see under there as well, with those being fitted in there. Colour call out's pretty straightforward, as you can imagine. It's just showing you that green overall right the way over the entire thing on there. And again, so there's three versions of this one in here, and then some of the other stuff they can do. So generally something very, very nice, interesting, tough, rugged. A little bit of photo etch, just see down on here, just for the grille work, nothing too over the top with that one. And then imagine just 4 decals. This is what we like. So literally we've got the sort of Federation stars on the side, or we've sort of got that classic red star on there as well for the different versions you're doing. So that's nice and straightforward. Okay, down into this baggie. It is. So we can just get into this one. So this is the main body, as you can see, one piece, which is actually quite a nice one instead of being multi-part. Looks very nice, quite sharp details on this one right the way over it, and as you can see, starting on the top, some very nice details in there. We haven't even got the hatches in there, but seam lines, everything's quite sharp, which is quite nice stuff. There's louvering here on the cooling system for the engine, very nice done. Very much a deep part down in there as well, but working your way along the back. And then when you look at the sides, obviously got a lot of stuff to go on this one, but no problem with that at all. Okay, the front looking good, and on the other side no problems with any of that as well. Down in here we have got some ejector pins and things like that you might want to take care of, just depending on how things go. They're very large. I shouldn't think they'd be too bad. They're pretty much flush. I think just with a couple of swipes with some sanding sticks to take those out for that internal detail, but to be honest with you, I don't think you're going to see too much in there, not from the angles you're going to be viewing it from anyway. So big sprues, as you can see. We'll just come in here. Okay, so huge big sprue on this one, just about get it in the camera angle. Alright, so if we look around on the close-up, we can see some of the more detailed parts again. So we've got these access doors down on here, this blast deflective plate on the bottom, assuming that could be some type of fuel tanks or something else like that. So we've actually got the instrument panel down here, looking very nice. And again, we've got that 6-wheel drive system, so we've got these which are part of that, I do believe. The sides, you can see, looking quite bland at the moment, but everything's going to sort of attach to those. So you can imagine there's a lot of detail going to be going onto those to make it all up. Internal compartment as well, so you can see we've got the big old multifunction displays down in there, and some communications gear it looks like down on there as well. The rear door area, okay, so that's actually looking very nice. Down on the inside, again, all the ejector pins, they're all here, but they're all very flush. And just about, I should imagine 90% of them are going to be tucked out of the way. To give you an idea though, we've got one of the driver's seats just down in here. It's nice, it's got the side restraints and everything else down in there. And again, this one down in here, assuming you've got the lights and that's probably going to be, I imagine, the front down in there, just like that. So that would be looking something like that, head on, with the actual light areas, fixtures and fittings in there, just like that. So very nice indeed. Next sprue up, again, we've got some of the smallest parts on this. Let's get down into here. Okay, again, large sprues, so we've got lots of stuff going down on here. It's probably going to be easier to run around it this way. You can see some of the smaller parts. So we've got, I imagine this is a mirror down on here. Obviously we've got the steering wheel, lots more of the smaller parts, the lumps, bumps, all very nice, fine, very fine gates as well for the actual moulding onto the parts, which is a nice touch. We've got the floor area running up here. This is the rear door areas, and again we've got some more of the louvers. We've got sort of access doors, things like that. Some of the transmission stuff down here near the top, and then working our way across and then back down. You can see lots of different parts. We've got the doors, internals to the doors and the outside, so this will be your inlet doors, and then things like that right the way through. Flipping over to the other side, very nice. We've got no flash that I can see anywhere. Again, we have got a little bit of ejector pins, but looking, from what I can tell, everything's going to be hidden out of the way. I can't imagine you're going to see any of these. They seem to be tucked out of the way at first glance anyway with it, so that's no problems at all. Very nice indeed. Okay, last sprue, which I imagine is going to be a dual one. So in here we've got a lot of the running gear. As you can see, it is a dual match pair. So as you can imagine, this is V, it looks like. We've got all the seats down in here. We've got the sort of the running gear, suspension, the wheels, the hubs. As you can imagine, plenty of this to go on. So we've got a lot of it going down. So we've got some of the transmission down in here, various grab handles, things like that. As you can imagine, going to be all over this one. Lots of work for the actual transmission, suspension, travel, things like that. As you can imagine, hubs, the seats, multiple seats, both sides. So it's be one side of the racking. Those wheel hubs right the way through. More of the seat positions, more of that running gear, suspension. Some of the hatches, these are obviously the top hatches, again very nicely moulded, so we've got bolt detail on those right the way through. No sign of any sink marks or anything else like that right the way over it. Actually, it's very nicely done. Everything seems to be tucked out of the way. Good details on all of those. No problem with that at all. Okay, clear parts usually going to be okay because they're just flat, so you don't really have to worry about clear parts usually when like this, but we'll just double check. Takom's clear parts do tend to be very nice anyway, and again they're not going to fail us anytime soon. So as you can see, crystal clear, no real distortion on any of those whatsoever. So we say we've got the headlights, and then obviously this armoured glass for the sides, things like that. That's actually very nice indeed. Down in here, slightly convexed on this, but this is actually, I think, the wing mirrors, and you can see it actually works weirdly. Okay, so that's down in there like that. And favourite part, tyres. Nice little zip bag. We get a couple of these out. So we do have some very nice internal details on these ones. So it is actually Michelin, and that does look like Michelin as well. So it looks like they have gone for a genuine branded tyre. And again, we've got some of the stuffs down on there. So they are 16.00 Rs by 20 XZLs. Very nice indeed. Both same size. No centre seam on these. You've got a slight faded mould line running right the way through. But to be honest, this is quite hard. It's got a little bit of squish to it, so you can do a little bit of weight on wheels. The old trick about screwing in from the bottom just to pull it up, that actually could work quite nicely on these because they are hollowed out vinyl type tyres and not solid, but it gives you a little bit more play if you wanted to do something about pulling it down. So basically drill a hole, self-tap a screw through it and pull it, and as you pull through, what will happen is it will bulge naturally as it pulls it down onto it. So that could be a little trick for you to try it down in there. But generally very nice. And then to get rid of that centre seam, a couple of swipes with a medium sanding stick. Not only will it get rid of it, but also give texture onto the tyre as well. So that's very nice indeed. The only one thing we got for that correction one, looks like it's just going to be a numbering option just down in here for O2, just down on the sides probably, and then C103 as well. So we're assuming just got a little correction for misnumbering on that one, just like that. And there you go, an absolute beast of a piece of kit. We love Russian heavy sort of, equipment, their vehicles, things like this, and this is an absolute must. If you're into your Russian equipment and heavy vehicles, stuff like that, then who's not going to love something like a Typhoon? So there we go, that's Takom's 1/35 scale Typhoon K.